Greetings from the Asian Productivity Organization Secretariat. Welcome to this APO's Productivity Talk, a series of discussion on the topics related to productivity. Global talent refers to the people who have the knowledge, skills, and abilities to work effectively across cultures, geographies, and sectors. They are able to adapt to different situations, collaborate with diverse teams, and innovate solutions for complex problems. They are also committed to learning and growing continuously. To thrive in the environment where rapid changes, disruptions, and challenges are the norm, we need to prioritize the development and reskilling of global talent in our connected world. So, developing productive global talent is not only a matter of individual competence, but also a matter of organizational strategy. It requires a holistic approach that aligns human resource management, talent development, and leadership development with the vision, mission, and the goals of the organization. It also, at the same time, requires a culture that fosters innovation, inclusion, integration, and learning. This is when we can see a direct connection between management of global talent and productivity of the organization. In this P Talk, we will share and explore some example of how different organizations have implemented global talent development strategies that have enhanced their productivity and efficiency. We will also highlight some practical tools and tips that we can use to develop and manage organizations' own global talent. To discuss further about this topic, we are joined today by Michiru Tamanai. Hi, Michiru Tamanai. So glad to have
Hello.
you here with us in this Talk. So Michiru Tamanai is Managing Director of Lotus Global Advance based in Singapore, and also Lotus Global Consulting based in Tokyo, Japan. She is a human resources professional with over 30 years of international experience, specializing in strategic career development, talent management, organizational effectiveness, and HR transformation in diverse sectors. She is currently serving as Senior Advisor for Career Development, Hiroshima Peace Builder Center, Japan, and at the same time, adjunct lecturer of Global Studies and seminar lecturer at Sophia University in Tokyo, Japan. Among other roles she played in the past are Chief of HR, UNICEF, India Country Office, HR Manager, New Talent Unit, UNICEF in New York, and many others HR related posts in various global and international organizations. So before Michiru Tamanai will start with her sharing, I would like to invite our viewers to leave comments or questions in the live chat below. So I would like now to invite Michiru Tamanai to start with your presentation.
All right. Thank you very much for the wonderful introduction. And it's a real pleasure to be here, talk about very timely subject, developing productive global talent. So let's start. So as I was introduced, my name is Michiru Tamanai, and I've been in this human resource development professional for over 30 years. This year, I just felt very much compelling reason to share all the thoughts that I have been cultivating about developing global talent, because this is going to be a very important subject matter for all the organization. And my presentation today, objectives are understand the global concept, principles, and practice of developing productive global talent, especially in the context of interconnected world right now we are in. And also, I'd like to present some very practical strategies to deliver result and achieve operational efficiency to improve public and private sector delivery in the global context. So let's start the journey together. And first thing, I would like to make everybody on the same page where we are facing right now. So, have you heard VUCA? VUCA stands for volatile, uncertain, complexity, and ambiguous. It, it's called VUCA. It has been used in the business world to kind of indicate the shift that we will or we are going through to prepare ourselves. And as you know, after COVID and also the emerge of generative AI, we really feel the worldwide shift is happening. And this is not only for economy or society, but also for the human resources arena. And especially reskilling is very much becoming importance in developing global talent. So I will cover later on more on the strategy, but let's go over a little bit of the context to really fully understand where we are heading. So this is the image captured from the video called Do You Know 2023? And it is a kind of, just a snapshot, but I really would like to point out that um, we are in the era of digital revolution, but it just has begun, just to get things started. So let's keep that concept in your mind. And in first time our history, the our workplace is uh, l- workplaces are uh, composed of five different generations, starting from traditionalists who grew up without internet, and through boomers, and through Gen X and millennials, and then Generation Z, Gen Z. They are born with the, you know, they are digital natives. So uh, all of the generation working together, and they are all important elements and important, how do you say, idea givers for the innovation. So those generation have distinct values, communication style, lifestyle. So motivating employee used to be simple, but now it's very complex. Also, on the top right hand side, there are some top in demand jobs today which never existed 10 years ago, which means our job landscape will be rapidly changing and more. In addition, furthermore, 134 million babies are born this year who will be familiar with AI when they are growing up. So we never seen anything like this type of human resource related landscape in the history. It can be called the fourth industrial revolution. It's a huge change is awaiting for us. So World Bank highlights global in their reporting global productivity trends, drivers, and policies that uh, this is written 2021. But from 2013 to 18, emerging market lagged with productivity under 20% of advanced economies. And productivity decline has been intensified by COVID-19 that we all witnessed in every country. And also factors include reduced investment and global disruptions. And but my point is reviving productivity, which productivity demands a focus on human capital development, meaning human resource development. people strategy in a sense. So, and also tech integration and a conducive economic frameworks. So, um, this is important point that I want to flag. And then next study is done by McKinsey Global Institute in 2023, Performance Through People, Transforming Human Capital into Competitive Advantage. So in here, uh, McKinsey report really hit all the important factors: overall productivity, uh, on the job training boost overall the productivity. The human capital focused entity exhibit stronger resilience. Resilience is quite important because uncertain VUCA era, the resilience coming back and sustain is critical core for productivity. And also people performance winners lead in service efficiencies. We need to keep on pursue quality, efficiency, effectiveness in all areas. So these leaders emphasize empowerment and bottom-up innovations. So again, you remember that we are working 5 generations side by side. It's a multi-generation, multicultural environment, and the bottom-up innovation is critical, meaning we really need adaptive leadership as well as mm, um, adaptive the listening skills to to be inclusive, to listen to new ideas. So, so my profession, human resources, I really think it's very critical. And human resource management and talent development are pivotal levers for enhancing productivity and efficiency in any organization. Well, if there is a, let's say, a company, but if the human resources, the people who work there are not motivated or are not skilled or are not up to level, it's very difficult to bring the organization or company to the next level. And so let's unfold how we have been doing. Traditionally, as you know, many company, many organization using competency model, which is David Ulich saying competency has become the leading logic model for diagnosing, framing, and improving leadership in general and HR management in particular. I really agree, and I have been doing this for 2 decades. However, facing to this very rapidly changing world, I was wondering how this model can uh, fulfill our goals of productivity or higher achievement. Probably we need to really have a deep thinking. That's why I would like to go deeper beyond this traditional model. But first, let me cover. So, as you know, competency models we use for hiring, selecting, and also um, performance evaluation, as well as um, enhanced productivity among staff. There are very good framework to work on to improve and also assess training needs and so forth. So, but this is based on the past behaviors of the staff or candidate, a future prediction of that person's performance. However, right now in VUCA era, the target is moving, target is changing. So past behavior may not be a prediction of the person's um, highest performance because of the moving target. So, well, various UN competency, this is a United Nations competency framework. Competency framework has been created based on their business mandate, missions, and also star performers. Star performers in within their organization are analyzed and and put forth as a framework. So IOM, UNICEF, FAO, they have their own competency framework. I'm sure in private sector, public sector, you do have, uh, certain framework. However, uh, this is based on the past performance of the best performer. So how we can um, adjust to the future needs. So UNICEF has been doing very interesting adjustment toward this trend. I just want to just highlight two things. UNICEF has a competency model, which is divided in three levels: individual contributor, team manager, and a manager of multiple teams. Even though one same competency, for example, innovate and embrace change, depend on the role, they differentiate the definitions, which is, I think it's good. So now I'd like to point out UNICEF included innovate and embrace change. So this is really geared toward uncertain uh, VUCA era, VUCA world. And if you see next one, it's more geared toward finding the potential of a potential candidate or staff who can manage ambiguity and complexity. So this is just the example of the current competency model has been adjusted to the latest trend of the um, rapidly changing, rapidly changing uh, landscape. So I'd like to point out new shift, just to recapture. So we have been talking about volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguity filled world right now we are in. Can be excited, can be scary, but uh, it's it's a new shift, which are the facts. So, in terms of HR management and leadership competencies, that I think we should keep in mind that remote work will be there for uh, our new normal, so to speak. Hybrid culture and structural change might happen as well. And digital transformation really to uh, key to transform the organization, but it requires new skill sets and also data-driven decision making, meaning our staff needs to have a data literacy skills as well. And then more and more importance is put on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We called DEI. And it's a more wider, not only gender, but age difference or, all disability, all, all inclusive tendency is now being appearing in the workplace. That means innovation. The fostering innovation requires diverse perspectives. So the more and more focus on DEI, and also rapidly changing environment, upskilling, reskilling, and agile trainings are very key for not only survival but for thrival. So I'd like to hold on. I'd like to point out latest people strategy, some of the best practices. And EX design is employee experience design. Uh, it is important to tailor employees' journey for optimal engagement, especially the generation, uh, 5 generations that we are uh, working with. Each one of the generation, and of course each individual as well, a different motivator they have. So therefore, from beginning to their career journey, it is critical to really focus on make them engage and retain the best talent. So that EX design and hybrid work, I think I'm sure you are already implementing, and well-being focus. Um, the hybrid work sometimes creates loneliness or discrepancy, not discrepancy, how do you say, not equal opportunity compared to people who come in the office or remote, and that might cause some um, mental health issues, and also uh, the depending on the generation, the well-being is very much more critical. So that's another new trend coming in is well-being focus. So becoming employer of the choice really needs to work on this area. So again, continuous learning. The new skill set will be important. So therefore, the best talent really look for the organization who give the chance for them to upskill and reskill. And again, diversity, equity, inclusion, I mentioned, but what I want to point out is analytic backed inclusivity in practice and culture. So here, AI or data analysis tools can kick in for, how do you say, aggregated data to utilize, uh, ensure, uh, to ensure the how do you say, fairness or diversity. So that's another merge of DEI and analytics. So that means data driven HR. So also the career journey, younger generation or maybe not so young generation as well would like to try many new things within the same company. And sometimes staff are locked in one role, but they want to expand. So one of the reskilling or relearning uh, method is informal learning. So providing gig platform, short-term assignments to a different department are very much welcomed. So that's another latest people strategy samples. And then I'd like to point out, I'm started to see the this new potential based competencies. Not a lot, but I also questioned about the current competency model will serve for our needs or not. So then this came in. I think it's been discussed in the HR professional. For instance, rather than past performance, but more on readiness, valuing adaptability, technology, and embrace, willing to learn more about tech, or willing to be open-minded, less biased, or more emotional understanding, problem solving, cultural sensitivity. Those elements needs to be actually measured and utilized for staff selection and development. So I just would like to point out what is potential-based global talent strategies. Potential-based versus traditional competency framework. The difference is while traditional framework prioritize current skills and experience for specific roles, as I mentioned, a potential-based strategy emphasizes inherent qualities indicating future adaptability and growth to ensure talent readiness for unforeseen challenges and changing roles in dynamic environment. So, um, because of the future is unpredictable, person who can be, who can handle the manage unforeseen challenges are very critical. And those qualities of such a person is resilience, learning attitude, because this leads to role flexibility and promotes business accountability and preparing organization for the VUCA challenge ahead and bringing the organization to the next level. And the difference between performance and potential, that's another interesting element in human resources. Potential is a dynamic state. So it has been asked for dynamic leaders in VUCA world because of individuals who have the capability to learn, grow, and develop a dynamic and go beyond their current skills and grow into a wider range of career opportunities. This is not a new concept because we have been using, as you might have experienced, like we recruit for the high potential emerging talent to go assume potentially to move into the senior role. That has been done in many organizations. Used by level, the ability to move and perform two positions or level. So that's another role flexibility. And used by breadth, the capability to take on the broader scope and leadership role and develop long-term potential. And used by record, of course, the solid performance evaluation is important, and track record is really speak it by itself. And used by strategic area, functions or business unit are centric and organization strategic objectives. So there is a new emerging area focused on acquiring the best talent for that area. So um, given all these contexts, and I come to my really important slide here to highlight productive global talent development strategy. So there are 10 elements here. In order to um, r- ride the wave of change, which is profound change we are facing, we do need to have productive global talent. And important thing number one is attracting best talent. We are in the so-called war for talent because of the shortage of the certain talent we need. And so showcasing opportunities and flexibility and collaboration and becoming a organization of choice is very critical. And number two, strategic alignment for global impact. So sustainable development and also ethical business and all elements are important to align talent strategy with global goals because new generation especially are more looking for the meaning in their work in terms of sustainability. So that's another important global talent strategy. And as I mentioned before, number three, data driven insight. Analyze data, including candidate quality, social media engagement, and talent retention rate. So there's a people analytic aspect coming into kind of enhance our view of how to recruit, develop, and retain talent. And efficient onboarding. Many organization or company are weak in this aspect. Streamlined onboarding for rapid integration and productivity. This is the key, especially if you are creating conducive and well-being focused organizational culture. It's very important to have efficient onboarding. And number 5, career advancement. Investing in employee learning and cross-border opportunities. Again, I mentioned internally, we can give opportunities so that they can develop themselves and also develop social cohesiveness within the organizations. Number 6, diversity, equality, and inclusion. Cultivate an inclusive culture, which is very important. Number 7, fostering innovation. Create a safe environment to try new way of doing things. The I will cover fostering innovation in later slide because this relates to risk taking and this relates to collaborative work and also protecting the doors because innovation um, has the aspect of failure, trial and error, and then develop. So that's fostering innovation by creating a safe environment. Number 8, tech enhanced skill development, utilizing technology for continuous skill upgrades. Number 9, global mobility initiative, enabling employee to gain global exposure and adaptability. Number 10, performance driven growth, advancing talent based on performance and contributions. So performance driven growth, uh, performance evaluations needs to be solid, which can be done through the very good feedback system and also more systematized approach. So all these 10 elements are quite important to develop productive global talent. So the factors, 5 factors foster innovation. This is I think it's very important to kind of keep in mind these 5 elements because we are talking about innovation, but not like, oh, just to make an innovation hub helps everything. It's not like that. Making innovation a strategic priority and align with your organization's strategy and output and demonstrating commitment from the organization leaders, including encouraging experimentation. Risk taking is okay, that type of encouragement and protection. And creating culture that supports innovation, including encouraging people to think in terms of why not, and what if. And number 4, aligning an organization system and processes. So many times this is not well, these elements are not well integrated because for productivity and for successful um, intervention, aligning organization system and processes are critical. So policy change and also guideline change and support the innovation from uh, all direction to solidify the new way of doing things. Number 5, collaborating broadly from informal networks to officially sanctioned teams and across multi-generations or multicultural. So collaboration is the key. So just this is the my image of critical skills, especially for developing global productive global talent for VUCA era, is integration. Integration is connecting the dots. This is like getting insight by active listening of multi-generation or diverse team, and strategic thinking, problem solving, and insight. So this integration part were more related to deep thinking, which we were not really focusing on before. Then again, innovation is important, impact through innovation. Innovation and tech integration, they are the key for the organizational success. In order to do so, we need an inclusive leadership, well, in a sense, dynamic and inclusive leadership. Active listening to and for to active listening to get the best idea from everyone. And again, learning and development. Our skills and knowledge rapidly becoming the past. So unlearn and reskilling new emerging tools are important. So it is just I'm summarizing for the my talk now. And three key HR change point that I suggest is to focus on strategic thinking, strategic planning. I know many people study in a business school, but strategic thinking is more like a scenario planning for the future, using more imagination because we don't know, what going to happen. It's very, very uncertain, uncertainties filled in the VUCA era. So develop future scenarios and prepare for future challenges. Okay, prepare for our staff for future challenges as well. So that's why agile decision making, quicker decision via real time data. So data literacy and also deep thinking, deep questioning, and also future scenario that would merge. So this is the kind of um, using both divergent and convergent thinking. So that's the HR change point to start looking into both sides. And again, talent management is critical because of the new skill set required. So continuous learning and reskilling, flexible workforce, adapt changing circumstances. Are the people, the staff who can uh, take up different roles in a flexible manner. So that's another challenge and another important change point. And lastly, leadership development. So dynamic and resilient leaders navigate this huge wave of volatility that is a different skill set compared to the traditional leadership skills. And again, emotional intelligence, social intelligence are quite important in this context. So today, the key takeaway word I just want to summarize, and VUCA, as you know, very much rapidly changing, uncertain, complex, ambiguous era we are in. And digital transformation, tech incorporation are the key for productivity, and also diversity, equality, and inclusion, the workforce and people who are in the um, market as well as uh, uh, globally, they are really becoming more diversity, equality, inclusion conscious, and fostering innovation through multi-generation, multicultural collaboration is important because global sustainability and resilience, in order to support the economic growth as well as sustainability, we do need a new way of doing things, which is through innovation. So, and continuous agile learning and also well-being focus, streamlined onboarding for rapid integration and productivity. This is relating to employee experience. So, so this is today's key takeaway words from me. And thank you very much for listening. And I will stop here.
Thank you so much, Michiru Tamanai, for the valuable sharing. Um, I think we can see clearly the connection between having a proper and well-established global talent management put in place in an organization and the productivity benefits that would come out of it. Um, you have explained it very well, and once again, we are being grateful for that. So, allow me now to move on to the question and answers in order for us to delve a little bit more deeper on some of the point that you have shared in your presentation. So you mentioned about um, how to successfully, in your word, ride the wave of change. You also mentioned about there is this requirement now for um, employee actually to embark this new potential based competencies. Those are the things that's being kind of like being evolved and being required if we want to sort of you know successful in this VUCA work. So, but what are actually the main challenges in order to have that put in place, particularly viewed or faced by the HR leaders in cultivating those kind of new skills, for example, those kind of new potential and those kind of competencies. It, how can those challenges be overcome, and how then the success in overcoming those challenges can be related to productivity performance, the improvement of productivity performance of an organization? Over to you.
Yes, yes, thank you. The mixture of modern technology and reskilled and adaptable workforce and future-oriented strategic thinkings are the key that I mentioned in the in my presentation. And to do so, we need to reskill uh, not only high potential, but also the current employees as well, and all generations. So, therefore, the new methodology of learning and development needs to be developed, enhanced. For example, maybe more on uh, informal learning and rapidly create a curriculum, very short, succinct, and very dynamic way of learning, way of teaching needs to be provided to make the workforce keep on learning. So that's the challenge, and we need to utilize all the modalities and analyze their attention span, their preference, and they also their the best way of learning, because depend on the person, the learning methodology is different, auditory or visual. So used to have only the classroom type um, learning methodology, but needs to be widened.
So thank you for that. I think the key words, one of the key words that you mentioned just now is actually the reskilling. So let's move on to the next question, which is still related to how do we know that our global talent management or strategy is actually impactful, or how do we measure the success of certain strategy facing certain challenges in a certain environment? Is there any kind of specific indicators that we can sort of easily pick up, and then we can know basically using that okay, our strategy is actually impactful in terms of achieving the mission or the vision of organization?
Yes, thank you. Well, traditionally, it's been that the HR or human resource development KPI, key performance indicators, are more like a rigid model, which is like a screening time or recruitment period, or it's a fragmented stories. However, the people analytics, you can really do more on analyzing retention rate, turnover statistics, or even patterns in promotions, such as like uh, gender assessment usually use. So then plus probably more on the innovation project outcome, which is linked to the business outcome. So revenues or um, cycle time, that type of thing. So um, there are some key performance indicators that recruitment metrics, learning and development metrics, and performance and productivity metrics. So um, however, I think it's very important to look on team outcomes nowadays, because the only one person's productivity is like a very minimal, but team outcome and the ripple effect of the particular new way of doing things and linking to the business outcome needs to be measured. So it really depends on the industry and organization.
One of the things that we can observe actually in today's environment is that some area in some area of expertise there are actually a shortage. Let's say there is a huge increase in terms of the people with strong background in data analytics, for example, in AI. You mentioned several times about that. There are actually shortages on that. Certain countries, because it's now in high demand and the supply cannot really keep up with the demand, then there are shortages. How do we face this kind of issues or problem? How can we implement a, a right global talent management to have businesses actually to gain a competitive advantage, considering this kind of issues or challenges? Michiru-san.
Yes, yes, thank you. That's a very good question, because the shortage exists even domestically, depends on the location as well, and also countries. So that's a very, very big dilemma. So to effectively tackle talent shortage and enhance operational efficiency, there are several way of doing things. For example, the creating talent hubs, and so create the regional talent hub in area where the country is rich in the particular, let's say, high tech talent or something. That these hub can attract and nurture and deploy talent specific to the the function, and ensure the steady stream to help the place where the shortage exists. Then also another way of doing things is centers of excellence. The complementing these talent hubs, the established center of excellence to kind of monitor and share the best practices, and so that we can develop certain talent in the shortage area, and also training and mentorship to have a robust mentorship can train the particular functional areas. Of course, the high tech, very much specific area. It takes a long time, but also the talent hub can start developing and mobilizing the talent as well. And also, we do need to use the collaborative technology to
Mm.
remotely help out as well. So uh, I can talk more, but I just stop here.
Right. So thank you for that. My next question is about the communication. Let's say if the managers, HR manager, have decided to have certain um, global talent objectives or strategies or directions in one organization, but then how do we communicate or cascade it down, those objectives, those directions, those expectations across different levels and functions of the organizations? You may share your, the practices, the best practices from your experience in the past, perhaps. Thank you.
Yes. Um, it is it is important to have a very good communication strategies. So the all the people in the organization needs to know why the change is happening. And it's not only top down, but all the consultative process, and also um, the people needs to be heard and uh, implement the change. That is the best way. And this is relating to not only a nice place to work kind of thing, but technology transfer as well. It's a many organization industry really needs to pass on the technology, or so to speak, how do you say, very critical know-how to another generation. To do so, uh, the communication strategy involving all levels are important, and also the three layers like organization and also system, policy, and individual performance roles needs to be clear. So many organizations are not really uh, involving all these three layers, and also um, communicating across. So that's the important elements to have a successful change.
Right. So you also mentioned previously about the importance to foster this culture of continuous or agile learning. This is something that's hard to get, of course, in some of the cases, I believe. But then, how can we foster this? How can we nurture this? And what are the things, kind of incentive, I would say, perhaps resources that the organization can provide to their global talent in order they can have this kind of a passion or mindset of having continuous learning. I think this is important because one of the reasons the innovation could come from this. In some of the successful company, if you have like a larger portion of your employee can have this mindset or this habit, then most likely the innovation would actually come out as a result. So how do we foster this?
Yes. Um, that is a very good question. It's a very difficult question because the each employee in each generation have a different set of motivators. So the HR world, you used to be very much easy, like a reward and recognition, and who is the star performer, and then give the plate, and then give present in front of the incentive in front of the president to satisfy it. Not like that anymore.
Mm,
So that's why we have to cater to each generation to keep on engaged in the organization. So agile learning opportunity is one of the satisfier for younger generations. Like a quick, they want to learn, they want to move on, and they want to do many things. And then they might want to be mobilized to other countries in a subsidiary of the company. So there are motivations factors that needs to capture from the beginning and incorporate not only one set of generation, but all the generations to satisfy. Traditionalists or boomers may be very scared of,
Mm.
wow, now high tech, I don't understand, I'll be kicked out. It's not like that. It's, they have a institutional memories, they have a know-hows. We need to respect as well. So so now dynamic leaders and adaptive leadership kicks in to really kind of foster the collaborative workplace, to move the future scenario more smoother. And so cross-functional learning is really good as well, like a cross-functional team. Many organizations work in silos. So cross-sectoral work experience, and also uh, digital platform for the young, maybe younger ones who wants to learn in their spare time, a peer-to-peer learning. And also external collaboration is exciting. For instance, the innovation, why not the participatory with the local communities,
Mm.
or you know, or some other entities, that it's a collaboration can be not only happen within the organization, but within the community. So that's another, different way of thinking. And then some people really like the new way of thinking. So
Right. So another point that you also mentioned, which is very interesting, was actually about collaboration and engagement. I think this is one of the things that would determine the agility of organizations. But then it's kind of like easier said than done. Um, we can teach, we can promote, we can, of course, the manager can always encourage them to collaborate and to engage among the team. I would like to ask for your help and advice in here to share if there is any best practice in encouraging collaboration, in promoting collaboration among the global talent, and then perhaps you could also share if there is any tools that organization can utilize in order to promote that, in order to manage the collaboration, and then to maintain the engagement.
mm, all right, okay, thank you. In a diverse context, um, not only cultural diversity but generation gap, we we do have our own biases. So the first thing is that we need to have a cultural sensitivity programs to really aware of my, our own biases.
Mm.
And also, depend. So it's a cross cultural, cross generation, and cross gender. We all do have. So I have to really aware. It looks basic, but it's very critical. The people with um, the disability. One time I was in that's a long time ago, but at the Sheraton hotels that in Hawaii, that we did a sensitivity training and to blindfold the employees to walk around to feel like how you feel like when you cannot see, so that cater to the guests who have disability with eyesight, and then they worked very much, uh, how do you say, develop the sensitivities. And that's another thing. And also, the collaboration needs to be done through also experience, that like a team building. And then right now its issue is some of the people remotely working, or some of them in person. So there is a kind of inequality there. So the organization needs to kind of um, organized, systematic way to in-person, all-inclusive team building or virtual team building, and keep on creating the collaborative mindset. It's a mindset, because no matter we lecture many hours, it doesn't really sometimes it's not effective. But you need to have a experiential and they really have a dialogue. And also important thing is the self-awareness.
So thank you for that. The next question is going to be the last question that I have in the spirit of time, in the limitation of time that we have. So this is going to be very practical questions that I would like you to guide us. After COVID, some organization they are actually kind of in a state of confusion, how to balance basically working from home, working on site at the office. Some of the evidence from some of the research that we know is that working from home is basically is positively correlated with the decreasing of knowledge capital. There is one or two evidence, supporting that. So then the question, how the organization needs to balance this, working from home, working at the office, perhaps how also the organization needs to manage the balance between recruiting a full-time employment, full-time employee versus temporary contract-based employees, for example. So I would like you to see this within the frame of the management of the talent itself, with considering all of those, the requirement coming from the VUCA word, those kind of things. So we would like to have your guidance on this, Michiru Tamanai.
Yes, thank you. It's a very tough question. Uh, Balancing remote and in-house teams, right? Yeah. Well, I think it really depends on the industry and the business nature as well. Some of the business can be totally remotely, it's a possibility, but some of them cannot. And important thing is having a unified digital platform for everyone is important. And this is the collaborative tools, ensuring both remote and in-house teams are on the same page. Because important thing is to um, ensure the productivity that we need to be on the same goal and objective and the same output. And again, this KPI and analytics comes in very much important as well. And also, as I mentioned, regular team building is critical. But also equal access to opportunities. Even though, for instance, there are sometimes the director level position and split into there the possibility of two people can play a role of director in one director role. That's possibility as well. So then, how you ensure that equal participation and equal opportunity and equal output. So that's another um, the metrics management or another performance, sophisticated performance management is needed. And also, important thing is a good feedback mechanism to both, in-house team and as well as remote team communication, and also encouraging each group to exchange the ideas and view and co-create something. So those are that I can think of. But um, this type of hybrid modalities are um, continue to exist. So each company's organization really need visit how they envision their workforce to sustain, to develop, and to thrive. So,
Thank you so much for all of those really valuable answers. I would like now to kindly ask you to give us, to enlighten us with two or three key points of our talk today, something that the viewers can um, remember it and then perhaps can implement it later on in their own context and in their own organization. Please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I'd like to mention, um, well, in VUCA era, it's not necessary that the model that we talking in the past, in the past in terms of the leader. Uh, it's not like a leader which has a vision and charisma and very good speech ability. That's, we have these
Mm.
stereotypes of leaders. But I think right now the uh, leadership person the characters are changing, which is more inclusive and more on the ability to integrate everybody's opinions or ideas, which is I called connecting the dots. That means it's not like extrovert can be a leader, introvert can be a leader too. So it's just the people who have a observant and listening skills and have a good insight, which we see in our environment, that those excellent conscious leaders exist. And I think that's what we need to keep in mind. And this is the time for renewal for all of us.
I think we are now reaching the end point of this talk. I would like to express our deep gratitude to Michiru Tamanai for sharing her knowledge with us for the past hour. I would also like to thank the viewers for their engagement in this talk. If the viewers still have comments and questions, you may please leave them on our YouTube channel and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible with answer and comment. So if the viewers would like also to receive update on the future APO Talk and any other update related to APO, please subscribe to our YouTube channel accordingly. So we'll see you again in the next APO Productivity Talk. And thank you.
Thank you.